No mercy, one and all. Welcome back to yet another review. So, Cobra Kai has had its season finale in season 6 part 3 last week. And so, I have decided to review the entire show of Cobra Kai. This is going to be in spoilers with all 6 seasons, guys. So if you've not seen season 6, if you're trying to catch up with Cobra Kai or haven't even seen Cobra Kai, do yourself a favor, watch Cobra Kai. It is an awesome show. You really should watch it. It's one of the best that Netflix has ever put on. You've been warned. To those who have seen it or don't care, welcome anyway. So, Cobra Kai, back in 2018, was originally on YouTube. Its first 2 seasons were originally on YouTube, but then Netflix continued on with the show with season 3, 4, and 5, and now 6, which got put into 3 parts. So here we are. So the basic plot follows 34 years after the events of the 1984 All Valley Karate Tournament. A down-and-out Johnny Lawrence, played by William Zabka, seeks redemption by reopening the famous Cobra Kai dojo. His rivalry with a now successful Daniel LaRusso. And so this is pretty much the legacy sequel to the Karate Kid films, where Ralph Macchio is playing Daniel LaRusso as the main character. Within the Cobra Kai TV show, Johnny Lawrence, played by William Zabka, is pretty much the main character of the show. And so the entire show starts off with him, also ends with him, which I really, really love. And so he finds this kid, Miguel Diaz, played by Xolo Maridueña, who recently was in Blue Beetle. They start to build a connection, and they reopen Cobra Kai. While all this is happening, Daniel LaRusso, played by Ralph Macchio, is in this LaRusso Auto, which has cars, which is a car place. He is reopening Miyagi-Do, which Mr. Miyagi had Daniel LaRusso in that dojo back in the original Karate Kid film. And so, with the Cobra Kai TV show, I love it so much. It's great. It's got so much 80s feelness. You know, it truly has a lot of callbacks in there. You also have other great characters in there. You have Tanner Buchanan, who plays Robbie King. I love this character. So great. And also you have Hawk in there as well. Then you have Sam LaRusso, played by Mary Mauser. Very underrated character. Love her in this show. And so, whether they're Miyagi-Do or Cobra Kai, in the final episode of season 1, which, by the way, I love the first season. It is so good, that first season. It truly felt like a proper legacy sequel to that first saga of Karate Kid films. And it truly was great seeing them in the All Valley again. And so, season 2, we then have, and so, John Kreese, played by Martin Kove, who's the sensei of Johnny Lawrence. He decides to come in and change Cobra Kai as its own. And so you, of course, then have another character in there, Tori Nichols, played by Payne List, who's also great in the show. And so, what most people talk about season 2 is the final episode with the school fight. Like, literally everyone is hating on each other. You know, Miguel hates Robbie, Hawk hates Dimitri, Tori hates Sam LaRusso, and they are pretty much constantly fighting. You know, relationships are switched around. It's bonkers. And Robbie kicks Miguel off the staircase and ends up in hospital, which then leads into season 3, and so Johnny Lawrence gets kicked out of Cobra Kai and makes his own dojo known as Eagle Fang, and so tries to get Miguel Diaz back into shape when he recovers in hospital. And I also loved seeing the old fiance, Ali, who's from the first Karate Kid movie, was great seeing her just for one season anyway. Then of course you have a little bit of Chosen in there, who is from the second Karate Kid movie. You know, he and Daniel LaRusso get to reunite with one another in that season for a little bit. And so all the characters are pretty much switching around, because Robbie was originally in Miyagi-Do, but then in season 4 he goes to Cobra Kai, run by not only John Kreese, but also Terry Silver, who, by the way, guys, he's a whole level when it comes to the villain. As far as I'm concerned, Terry Silver is pretty much the villain of the entire show. Like, when you immediately think in season 5 he's done, he's not. He somehow escapes out of prison, which then they bring him back in season 6, somehow. But that's Cobra Kai, but that's what works so well about Cobra Kai, this entire TV show. Season 4 I love. That was a great season for Cobra Kai, because, you know, Daniel and Johnny are teaming up despite their differences. You know, Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang are teaming up, you know, with all their students. And so within the end of season 4 we see John Kreese get arrested, and Terry Silver takes Cobra Kai to a whole other level, and yet he's just pretty much a madman at that point. Also, you get to see Mike Barnes, who was in the third Karate Kid movie. You know, get to see a little bit of him also in season 6. And my favourite thing about Daniel LaRusso in this entire show is that in the finale of season 5, you get to see him fighting Terry Silver using the crane kick. Like, it's just wild. Then, of course, we see John Kreese escape out of prison, goes to South Korea, and makes Cobra Kai there. And so, all these dojos are pretty much entering this humongous karate Olympic tournament called the Sekai Takai. And so, they have to pick a number of students, competitors, to fight for the Sekai Takai in Barcelona, which we then get in part 2 of season 6, after when we see them train one another. So some major twists happen. Tori Nichols' mum dies. She gets out of Miyagi-Do to Cobra Kai. And so you see all these South Korean Cobra Kai students like Yoon Kwon. It's wild stuff, to say the least. And so, as I said earlier, Terry Silver is pretty much the real baddie of this entire show, because he pretty much turned Cobra Kai into a real threat. But now he has his own dojo, the Iron Dragons. So you have other characters in there like Sensei Wolf, and you have Axel, who's the male captain for that dojo. And so what I love is the big brawl in the finale of part 2, episode 10, where literally every dojo is constantly just fighting each other. It's wild. Of course, John Kreese and Terry Silver used to be buddies back in the olden days in the war in Karate Kid 3 in season 4, but they now hate each other at that point. And what I do like is that John Kreese is somewhat having a soft spot for Johnny Lawrence, and so Johnny is defending Kreese in some way. And then of course in part 3 we go back to America after the death of Quan, and so John Kreese is distancing from being a sensei for Cobra Kai and feeling like Johnny Lawrence is the only person able to run Cobra Kai, and so they bring the Sekai Takai back, but only it's in the All Valley. And so Miguel Diaz joins Cobra Kai as their new captain, with seeing the yellow and black suit on him touring the girls, and Johnny Lawrence was great, honestly. And them both winning their fight was just great. Then of course you have the final episode where it's called X Degenerate, because the very first episode of the entire show was called Ace Degenerate, which really works because this entire show is about Johnny Lawrence. And so Daniel LaRusso trains Johnny Lawrence because John Kreese saved Johnny, because Johnny has had a baby girl, and so Miguel and Robbie are now stepbrothers. They have a little sister now, and so John Kreese is pretty much fighting Terry Silver one last time. Then the boat just explodes constantly. It's wild. And then of course you have the final fight of Johnny Lawrence and Sensei Wolf from the Iron Dragons, and they of course do win, which is nice. So Cobra Kai is officially back, and so Johnny Lawrence is now running Cobra Kai once again ever since season 1. Of course Daniel LaRusso is still running Miyagi-Do, because that's the way his karate was, particularly with Mr. Miyagi anyway. And I love the flashbacks, guys. They are so good, you know, which each one of these characters, guys, in the entire show of Cobra Kai, they have their time to shine. But really, it's about Johnny Lawrence, because he lost in the 80s to Daniel LaRusso, because he had so much potential. But now he's redeemed himself, I think, so. And overall, guys, I love the entire show of Cobra Kai. It's simply one of the best shows I've ever seen. Yes, it's cheesy here and there, but that's what Cobra Kai is, and that's what I like when it needs to be. And I'm not going to grade Cobra Kai because there are some issues here and there. Sometimes I wish things could have been explained a little more. You know, how did Terry Silver and John Kreese, you know, survive in the stab? How did Terry Silver escape from prison? And how did the characters not know about their death on the boat, you know? Because I'm not going to lie, with the first few seasons, it was kind of realistic. But when it gets to about season 5-ish, it kind of gets a little over the top. But hey, I love it. It is what it is. But there you go, guys. That is my review on Cobra Kai. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of the show Cobra Kai. Let me know below in the comments. Let's have a great discussion down there. And I look forward to seeing Karate Kid Legends. I'm very interested to see how that plays out, especially that's taking place after the show of Cobra Kai and the original Karate Kid films. Would love to review the first one. If you're new to my channel, please feel free to comment, like, subscribe, share this video, and notify that bell before you leave. And if you're a returner, welcome back. Hope you're enjoying my content so far. As always, guys, until my next video, I shall see you then, and Cobra Kai never dies.